What up, people of the world? You already know what it is. It's to your man KD, and you're on again on another beautiful day. Splendid episode. You know how it is. It's the Artmosphere brought to you by the Pond Collective. And you know what we all about. You know the motto. We're all about life. We're all about creativity. We're all about youth. We're all about energy. We're all about good vibes, and good vibes all day. And I'm never here alone as usual. I'm always here with somebody great. I mean, you know me now. You know how we handpick them. Well, it's all good. I'm here with the one and only Samson Bakare. What's up? What's up? What's
Yeah,
up?
what's up, man?
You're welcome. You're
Good to be
welcome.
here.
You're welcome. I know we've been planning this for a while, but so
Sure.
many back and forth. And the last time we met at Art
Artmosphere.
yeah, and then we said we had
just have
to
to
make
make
we
it.
just have to do it. We just had to do it. And it's beautiful, man. How about you just introduce yourself? Like let people know you.
Oh yeah, everyone. Yeah, my name is Samson Bakare. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, a poet, a sculptor, a painter.
Right, everything you want.
So wonderful to be in this atmosphere.
That's great. That's
Can't wait to
great.
get into the business of the day.
I mean, speaking of the business of the day, I mean, I want to start off with the works you showed at Artx, and it was mind blowing as usual. I mean, I follow your work, and seeing what you did at Artx, it was just this word like what like what about the whole thing, the whole concept, the idea, even the sculpture, like everything was just all together, and your colors, your user colors, just always would never say like how did it all start? How did it all start?
So it started with my quest to create an experience
Yeah,
in the heart of the viewers, because I feel that most of the times when people come to see walls and shows, it is wonderful, and we are yet to have this experience that in the next few days or weeks we shouldn't recover from heart. Basically, if truly you saw heart,
yeah.
yeah, so we should be should be basking in the euphoria, in the it's like a climax or something. So that led me to creating something multi-dimensional. That's the sculptures, and I was glad they were live sculptures.
Yeah, yeah, because that every time I think, like you said, it leaves a mark on the memories of people, and everybody just remembers that moment and that experience as a whole. And that was crazy, though. That was crazy.
Thank you.
So, like, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, how you get into the art thing? Has it always been a childhood dream?
Well, I don't want to tell familiar stories, but it has always been a childhood dream. My dad is an architect.
Oh,
Yeah. So during these days, I remember when I was so young, um, he attended University of Lagos, so we still have this, before the advent of AutoCAD and electronic architecture. So they do the drawing board thing and all that. So as a child, I would go to his sports and see those things. I was inspired to create things along that side. And going back to the primary school days when the super strikers I know most of us
yo,
Super Strikers.
if you never read Super Strikers, just go back.
And Nigerian artists.
You're not a Nigerian artist, yeah, because we used to do drawings back then,
Shakes.
shapes,
Footballs,
exactly,
captains.
footballs and everything. That's great. That's great. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you're saying,
And the Super Striker was like the comic that was available for
Yeah.
the Nigerian children then. We didn't really have much access to Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Then from there, I remember when I was in primary four, one of my friends that was a good writer came with this storyline, The Inexorable. He said I should create characters around it. So we created a comic then. We created comic, we gave them the characters. I came up with the ideas, even though it was color pencil and the
Of course.
beautiful in their own times. And going back to secondary school days, I was a science student, the way it is in Nigeria.
Science.
Yeah. But I wasn't fulfilled.
Of course.
Yeah, because I feel like there's so much to do than this point. So at some point when I told the school authority that I want to switch to art, those guys were like, "You're doing well. Your physics and chemistry grade is fine. What do you want to?" I said, "I'm not fulfilled because there's this thing that I always pick purpose first, and then other things follows. Okay, so in as much as the whole world is clapping for you and you are not satisfied with it, I feel it's a disaster because it is the internal satisfaction, that should bet every other things externally. I mean, yeah, I am. But after then, I went to University of Arts, National Theatre. I know a lot of, what good artists have been there. I met some good guys. Yola, Chidinma, Michael Igwe. Yeah, some of us, it was a great time. We could learn how to draw. We draw most of the times. It was rigorous, okay? But
Yeah,
I'm glad that the impact still remains. Yeah.
that's great. That's great. That's great. So, what would you say has been your biggest influence so far? Because I feel without influence, a dream is not really achievable. So, like,
Sure.
there has to be something that pushes you to put your mind to something and be like, this is what I actually want.
Yes.
And so, what are your influences actually?
You'll be amazed if I tell you that my influence is not within the heart space.
I like to hear this.
My influence is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
Yeah. A lot of people talk about this other guy that is a genius that can virtually do everything like he's performing magic. But we are yet to talk about this guy that worked on himself. This guy that learned discipline in the hard way. This guy that is always hard on the training. This guy that is cross-disciplinary relevant. When you talk about cross-disciplinary relevance, I think Cristiano is one of them because as a footballer, you see his impact in the fashion space. You see his impact in other aspects aside sports. And I just talk to myself that, look, our relevance must not just be in the heart world alone, because we got to a point where if you're not working on, maybe you're working on one of the airports in New York and somebody says, oh, that's Samson Bakare, that's the boy, because we know that, because I discovered that lately, no, not lately, like in the past, the Nigerian impact, like the prominent artists in Nigeria, they're only known between the confines. Yeah, so you mentioned, I don't want to mention names here.
of course,
because
of
there.
course.
But when you see them, it's only people like, oh, that's so person going, oh, and some other people maybe in the music world, they're like, oh, who cares? You get that kind of thing. So that's where you will know that our impact is still sedimental.
Yeah.
So it should be holistic. Yes, if truly we are doing what art should do to humanity, and if there are humans out there that know even art lovers, they should like us. So I was inspired to do that kind of thing. And I wanted to be more because I know as humans, we are created to do more. We're created to be more. It's not just to be limited to, I don't like confines, okay? So I like to spread out, to find expressions in so many things. And so books and, through my paintings and a lot.
That's great. I mean, speaking of being an influence, and I think that's very vital, in the age that we're in right now, and more like peer-to-peer learning. You understand? They're trying to like inspire people in the same field or younger than you in that same industry, and you've come from a background, you've done your work, you paid your dues, and you're ripping the dividends and all of that. And I tell younger artists that do not just limit yourself to what you know. Try to get knowledge from everywhere you can, and
From nature.
everything from nature, from people, from conversations and all of that, just like we're having now, and actually telling people like listen to and key into and pick one or two things in it. And I think that's the beauty of it. Art just goes beyond you being in your studio, painting, just creating something. I mean, art could be anything. You could just be walking down the street, somebody just say something to you, and you just pick one or two, and it's like, that's inspiring. You understand? And I kind of like, and you're doing big. You're doing big. What would be like one of the moments you decided that, like, let's say you made something off of this, and you're like, you know what, this is it. I want to be an artist, and nothing is going to change my mind.
Okay. So you mean one of the darkest moments?
Yeah, one of the biggest moments. Not really.
Biggest
We'll get to
moment.
the darkest moment.
I think my biggest moment was my collaboration with Gucci.
Oh,
and I will tell you why. Because now there are certain things that are expected of certain professionals.
Yeah.
They are not like a big deal. For instance, you're a footballer and you are playing a match. You are meant to play a match. You are meant to play in a tournament. So there's nothing special. You are an artist. You are meant to have shows, exhibitions. So it's not special, it's expected. But me going into the fashion world, I mean, when I got the email, I was like, wow. So it means that the little things we do really matters. Like,
matters a lot.
Yeah. So that was a mind-blowing experience for me, and that actually put me on the global scale at large. So that was the biggest moment. That's when I feel like, you see this heart, you do it to death.
That's weird. We do it to death, right? And it's crazy because I see your work. Although you talk about a lot of things, but fashion is like a prominent thing, occurrence in in your piece, and I kind of like the fact that you're pushing that narrative that yeah, African artists, like most parts of the world call us, African artists are not just painting a day at the village,
Yes,
a day
putting
at the
art,
market square.
somebody
I'm
you're
not taking
making.
shots at anybody though. I'm not taking shots at anybody. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, talk
just
about
more.
something that be relevant today. We can paint traffic situation. We can paint Ocean
Yeah,
Market all day.
just contemporary.
It doesn't go. It doesn't really go off. Let's paint something that the future generation can look back and regard as their own renaissance or their own
Yeah.
medieval type of art. And that's like really awesome. And I'm actually proud of what you're doing in the industry. That's really beautiful. And moving on, I know being an artist in Nigeria, living in Nigeria is hard.
Yeah.
No matter how much we're making or how much we've gone, how further we've gone or whatever, how far we've gone, excuse me, I feel there's always that challenge.
Yeah.
Like, what are your biggest challenges? I know it might sound cliche,
No, no,
but
no, 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 not cliche. You know, these challenges are still there.
they're
So
still there.
they are not
Exactly,
cliche.
exactly.
I don't mean they have been worked upon. Yeah, we'll feel
That
like,
yeah,
okay, but they are there. To start with, I would say environmental challenges.
environmental. Yeah,
Yes, environmental challenges. You know, the environment we live in, sometimes I might not find it so conducive for an artist,
yeah,
you know, because let's take with the way we build our houses.
yeah.
I mean, not so many artists could afford having their own main building,
Of
you know,
course.
spacious spaces. We found out that most of these places have been built to suiting for residences. So, and now you're here trying to convert it to a studio. From the structures, you see your neighbors up there, maybe your neighbor's generator there, where you're just trying to think, and you know, all of those things happening. And
The
also,
lights and
yeah,
natural
the light, yeah, all those things have a way of, you know, tampering with your emotions as an artist, and your emotions is much more needed. I also feel to some artists, even though I could say I've, you know, um, gratefully I've come past that, but there was a time when financial support it was a thing. You know, I remember those days in Yabatech, some of the past alumni we come and you feel like, oh, what do you guys need colors? Let's give them these colors. And you still feel some way, somehow, we know we live in a corrupt system, you know,
yeah,
everywhere is corrupt, you know, and you see that this material don't get to the student while working, and it's not a good thing. And also for artists that are diving into the conceptual art, they need certain grants. In other countries, you see, you apply for grants
yeah.
because you could feel you don't want to sell work for the next 3 years, and that you should be fine with that. But there are no systems in place that will make you do those work. So when I was in Abu Dhabi, I met one Indian artist, a woman, yeah, for the conference, and she showed me what she has been working on, stones and these metal drums. And to my surprise, she had so many foundations that are funding her. Some foundations are funding research. Let me take the richest living artist, for example, Damien Hirst. Do you know how many English governmental funds this guy grants to this guy? So these guys are empowered to do more.
Yeah.
And if you are not empowered to do much, you are going to be indirectly relegated to commercial art.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where you see that people are running the rat race, being caught in the web of trends because you just want to get materials, get some of the other things.
You want to survive, basically.
Yeah, you want to survive. And like I tell people, so we are first human before we became an artist.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, your humanity necessity will come into play. And what are the basic things? Food, clothing, and all these things.
Bills.
And if those bills are not met, nothing creative is going to come out of it.
That's the thing. I tell people this a lot, that man, as much as artists can do whatever it is they do passionately, if your necessities aren't met, like your bills and your basic,
You be a focused
you
guy.
can never
Focused
think.
dude, okay?
I know art comes with emotion, like you just mentioned, when those emotions are all over the place, you wouldn't really have time to concentrate. I know many young artists who are still trying to come up in the industry who will be like, I want to be a full-time artist, but I think I'll just find a job on the side to sustain myself. When the stress from that job, then you have to come home, try to paint something, you're either limited, because you don't have time to make research, you don't have time to study your
Even the half
craft.
put with the shallow.
Exactly. And you just see like you're not fulfilled, but you want to survive as a Nigerian. And that challenge that you said is really crazy. But I'm pretty sure someday in the future it's gonna get better and there's gonna be like an avenue where artists could actually enjoy being
Making
artists and making it from the depths of their heart, not I'm making it to survive, I'm trying to survive. And that's like really messed up. But moving on, speaking of process, speaking of process, what would you classify your art process as? Would like what zone do you get into? Like what brings these ideas? I know fashion is part of it, of course, and your use of color, of course. I get the way you use your colors are so beautiful, and they're vibrant, they're sharp, they just fall into the right places and all that. So like it begs me to question the stuff like that process. What gets you into that zone?
So some years back I read this book on psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. And I discovered that there's more to what we can be as human. And if we are truthful to ourselves, or we are truthful with ourselves, this art we do find a way to express our personality, according to some of those theories, and not just theories, that they are applicable things, and I've seen it, that they are mostly a replica or a reflection of who we are within. Me, within, I'm a vibrant person, free spirit kind of person. I've got so much energy. I don't know what horsepower it is. Yeah, so and like to put that out there to to see how I could express who I am and talk about certain themes too, some unconventional themes. Lately I've been drawn to talk about themes like death.
Definitely.
Yeah, because most times we don't like talking about those things. But we really need to talk about the works we saw at Artex were inspired by those things. We talk about death, consciousness of time.
I heard you. I heard you.
Yes, because we don't have much time. I don't know what time I have left.
Oh, I feel maybe it's like the fact that we don't talk about it. Maybe it's like, should I use us being Africans? Yeah, we don't talk about
Yeah,
that.
because you don't want to talk about.
You think you don't want
You want to
it?
die now.
I mean, I feel like moving. Let me just move away from what we were talking about for a little bit. I mean, if you don't talk about that, that doesn't mean it's
not gonna happen.
inevitable.
Yeah,
It's more like I feel the mindset goes with saying, "Oh yeah, you talk about death, it's gonna happen." But what about all the good things we'll be talking about? I mean, yeah, exactly. So the back and forth is it's kind of like crazy, but I do understand your point, and yeah, about you were saying something.
So
about
yeah,
death.
then talking about that, talking about so as an artist, I'm also a philosopher. No, I remember when I was in school, there was one of the lecturers called me a philosopher because I like oncology and ontology. One talks about the philosophy of time, one talks about the philosophy of existence. And I like to see how those things before time began and how those things will be before time, we go. And somewhere along this line, I try to find a bearing with my heart. So I call my heart a time machine through which you could go to the past and you could build the future from the present standing point. So it means that right now in the present, we could reminisce on what's happened in the past. We could have some retrospective throwback, documentations, what happened in the Victorian age, what happens to the African people. Then we could talk about the future too, because from the past we can repeat, predict the future. Because somehow we might not agree with it, but sometimes history repeats itself. Yeah, so this is where my work finds some bearings and momentum to see how we could go back and forth and to actually keep records of everything that is happening. And in the midst of that, while creating all of those things, I came across these 3 C's. Okay, so that's the cause of art. That's CAUSE. Then the curse of art. Then the cause of art. So COURSE, the cause of art. Then the curse of art, that's CURSE.
Mhm.
Yes. Art has a plague, both on the artist and on the art itself. Then the cause. Let me start with the cause now. The cause, talking about the reason for art. There is a reason for art. And sometimes the reason for art could be no reason.
True.
Yeah, you could create art like, I'm just creating this. So you don't necessarily have to talk about some narrative.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
It doesn't have to be
deep every
deep. Yeah.
time. Yeah, it doesn't
You
have
could do art for art's sake.
Yeah.
So that is the cause of art. Then for the cause of art, COURSE, we talk about the disciplines of art, the vital skills needed.
The basics.
Yeah, the basics and how you keep exploring as an artist.
Of course.
Because I'm committed to newness. There's a way I feel as a person if I keep repeating and doing one thing. I get bored of myself. You put me in this.
I feel, yeah, artists, we get bored easily when we're like doing the same thing repeatedly, all in the name of consistency.
Yeah, you should be transitional. Shouldn't just be consistent in one place. Yeah. Then talk about the curse of art now. Art as sometimes as an artist we have some mental downtime.
Yeah, of course.
Creative block happening for some people.
A lot.
You get to this T junction, like you feel like, what ideas, what do I want to do? Because you live in a world where what you want to create, I don't really think you are bringing any fantastic new thing to the class.
Everything nothing really new under the sun.
Yeah, and that thing is so torturing because you feel like, how do I hone this? How do I stand unique in the midst of this competition? And social media, thank God for its blessings, and it's creating this competition because somewhere somebody in South Korea or somebody in Puerto Rico is uploading what you are. And we all get the vibration at the same time. Yeah. And sometimes the sacrifices of art, those late night thing, those research thing, this is the way we drill ourselves just to get inspired.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 C's I found, and they are vitals, and I feel that all artists need to pay attention to. Because
3 C's, the 3 C's. I like that. I like the 3 C's.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's good. So now let's move away a little bit.
Okay.
And let's just talk about Samson Bakare himself. So now I want to ask this question. If you were not an artist, what else would you want to be? Another passion other than art. Yeah.
How would I said? Okay, so let me talk about this. Although I shouldn't shoot myself, good I said to myself. I'm a fashion enthusiast, okay?
Okay.
So I'm working on my fashion line. It's called Fusade.
Fusade.
Yeah.
Put me in on it. I love fashion too.
Yeah, so I'm trying to put up stuff. So I've had this sharp contention. We know what we call career lost, like LUST. When you lost after women. You lost after certain career, and you feel like this is the main chick, this is the side chick.
Exactly.
It happens to us too as humans.
Basically.
And I love fashion so much because I feel there's so many things I could do in that space. There's so many other things, not just the convention of what's happening. We could bring in some innovations, not necessarily being artistic, but there are so many things that could happen there. I like what Kanye and the likes are doing, VG.
Rest his soul.
Yeah, blessed memory. That it was a very great person, great artist, a great fashion designer at the same time. So it could be multiple things. So I would have been a good fashion designer, but now.
That's crazy. I mean, I saw it. I'm not gonna lie. I saw a bit of it in your works and analyzing your work and seeing more of your work. Kind of like, this person has a great fashion sense. I know we've seen a couple of times, and you're always dapper from head to toe. Like, I mean, I try my best. Sometimes I just don't even care anymore. I just open my wardrobe and just look for whatever I see, just put 2 and 2 together and just style myself. And I think that's a good thing, not just putting it in your art, but being the art itself. And that's like.
But if you ask me for the third thing, it could have been to be a writer.
A writer, right?
Yeah. There's this book I was co-writing with Amarachi Inoli.
Yeah, I know.
Paradise of Stillness. We started in 2020, but it's on online. we're still trying to find our feet.
Of course, I mean, some books take years to put together, so it's never too late. It can still work out. That's beautiful. So now, how do you um unwind? Let's say you're not in the studio, you're not thinking anything arts, you just want to chill. So how do you chill?
Okay, so how do I chill when I'm in the studio when I'm not working, or how do I chill outside the workspace?
Let's just make it a general thing.
A general thing. So personally, I like sea views. I like sea views. Like I just like to just be by the beach side.
Yeah.
There's this thing about the wind that comes from the ocean. It's like a medicine from our hands.
Very therapeutic. Very,
Yeah.
very therapeutic.
So those things speak peace to me. They speak stillness, speak calmness to me. And whatsoever voices in the head, I just maintain the silence, and I really do that a lot.
Yeah.
And secondly, I'm a retrophile. I like artifact things. I've had these gramophones, vinyl.
Yeah. So I just looking to be like get some of that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I
you
mean,
can.
hook me up, hook me up. You
Yeah.
got me a link or something.
Exactly. So I just slot in my disc because there's something about playing something from this MP3. It is about wonderful. I believe I'm an old soul rather. Yeah, I've existed some time ago. So somehow I'm always drawn back to.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean that's dope, man. That's dope. So, one last question before we round up. So what is your vision for the Nigerian art scene? Because like, where do you see the Nigerian art scene heading to, or where do you want it to get to?
I've been waiting and looking forward for this question. Okay.
Here it is.
So let me start with what is happening in Ghana at the moment. Okay. As an artist, we are also social commentators. Okay. In as much as we don't want to create some controversial, statement, but we can actually run away from the truth. So I mentioned two artists for you. Amako Bafo just opened his residency, Dota Talia. Wonderful. David Ajayi was the architect. So great. Right now, I just stumbled on a post. Ishak Ismail.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't run in the foundation. I think he's running the residency. Like he's working on something like that. They have the northern residency there. And you find out that basically, yeah, I mean, I've mentioned the name, so I need to be fair. Aside from really,
Yeah.
they are not those incubation spaces in Nigeria. And how many artists can really accommodate in a year?
Of course.
You see, so that leads to individual things. So are the things I look out for. And I was inspired by the charity lifestyle of Chief Omoba Yemisi Shillong, the Shillong Museum and all those things I do for the culture. So at the moment, I have about 13 artists in my studio. And they are mostly graduates, sculptors.
13 artists?
Yes.
I'm definitely coming to your studio.
And most of them are not just, in as much as they are learning a few things from me, and the fact that they are assisting in a way, they are being paid to fund their own goals. Now, this is something I do without soliciting for grants elsewhere. So I started with a small studio somewhere around, the mainland on Oasis. I moved to Ogba. It was a bit bigger. But when I started creating sculptures, oh my God, there's no way I could continue in that place. So apparently, we have this space in Ogba. We got a building. We were building on, okay? Yeah. But we started only for us to discover that we've been needing something like two plot of land, not just a plot of land. Now we are moving to the island because I need to build something where I could accommodate other artists. And this is my plan. My plan is that at certain time of the year when we see that maybe promote art schools or maybe maybe self-taught artists too could be in the final semester or so, we could ask them to come. You submit for entries. You come in. You come to a place where you are shaped. In 2 months, it's not just I remember I spoke with some of my colleagues, some institutions in UK. I wish I'll be going there to also talk more about it. How we could have some solid things there but I really want this thing to happen on the mainland, not just on the island, because the island is concentrated at.
Yeah, so what the usual mainland island.
Yeah, what do you give to the slum? What do you give to these people that they can't just access? So this is my vision. Okay, it is my vision, and all things being equal, I'm launching him this year. Okay, for real.
Rest, man. Proud of that. Proud of you, man. Proud to hear that. And I feel anybody listening right now should like also keep an eye open for when this dream actually comes to reality and all of that. And it's been wonderful having you here. And
Thank you
just
so much.
before we leave, any final words for anybody watching, people who are actually inspired by this episode? Just any final words for them to hold on to?
Yeah, I would say we should be committed to newness because we can't just keep doing things the old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to. We've spoke with some art masters in the past. They gave us some method that worked with them. But all of a sudden, we are in 2023 now.
Yeah.
Those formulas are obsolete. There are no things happening. It's getting more competitive. So you need to be open. You get some information that you need. If there are residencies there, you apply. There are things you need to need. And then for your work to make sure that we are changed constantly
Yeah.
and we are not just rigid. That's just the key word. Say no to rigidity.
Yeah.
No.
Say no to rigidity. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for making our time to come be with us here today. I really, really appreciate you. You're a great artist. You inspire me. You inspire a lot of young artists out there. And we look forward to doing this again sometime soon. And big wins, more blessings, and keep doing what you're doing and keep helping the younger artists and the art industry in Nigeria the best way you can. And there you have it, folks. It's been another splendid episode, and I've been inspired. I really don't know about you. Maybe you should watch this video like 3 to 4 more times if you have issues. But just saying.
Put it on the
And it's still your man KD Otaru, and this has been a splendid episode. And until next time. Peace and love. Stay creative. Stay young. Be bold. Never give up. And just let life do its thing, right? So from us here to you over there, peace out.